Greetings from here in Wayne, America, and happy Memorial Day weekend. We're here at the Greenwood Cemetery in Wayne for today's Memorial Day program put on by the Wayne American Legion, and I hope you enjoy this touching tribute to our fallen soldiers. Have yourselves a great Memorial Day, and we'll see you later here on WayneAmerica.com.
Well, to the Veterans Memorial Park and the 2017 Memorial Day service. I'm Bill Mattis, member of the Wayne County DAV. I will be your MC today for the ceremony. At this time, I would like to introduce Chaplain Bill Kober for the invocation.
Let us pray. Eternal God, today is a solemn and patriotic day across our land. Since the time of the American Revolution, the freedoms that we so much enjoy and sometimes take for granted did not come cheaply. They have been paid for with the flesh and blood of American servicemen and women, and with the tears of those whose lives were changed forever by the loss of a beloved one. We set aside this day, O Lord, to ensure that our nation's veterans and their families are properly honored and remembered with deep gratitude. May we honor them by doing our best to see that evil, tyranny, and terrorism will not prevail, and by living for truth and righteousness, justice, and peace. Be with all who are in need today, wounded soldiers, families who mourn, our veterans across the land. And hear us as we continue to pray for the end of bloodshed and war, for swords to turn into plowshares, and for the whole human race to live in harmony with one another. May nothing ever separate us from the love of God and the peace and the freedom that you desire for us. Amen.
Thank you, Chaplain Kober. Will everyone please stand as the Wayne High School Band plays our national anthem. Thank you, Mr. Whalen and the Wayne High School Band. Comrades, this day is sacred with the almost visible presence of those who have gone before us. We honor the memory of those who gave their lives in the service of our country and of those others who have dropped their burdens by the wayside of life and are gone to their eternal rest. May the ceremonies of today deepen your reverence for our deceased. Let us renew our pledge of loyalty to our country and its flag. Let us resolve by work and deed to emphasize the privilege and duty of patriotism. May we never forget the personal sacrifices of the veterans of all wars, and let us also never forget the sacrifices of their families who remained at home. Our guest speaker this year is Master Sergeant Brendan Dorsey. Master Sergeant Dorsey was born in Wayne, Nebraska. He graduated the Wayne High School in 1984. He then joined the Army for 2 years. Master Sergeant Dorsey then attended Wayne State College in '92, receiving a degree in biology. He then went on to receive a teaching degree in 1999. He joined the National Guard 189th Transportation Company here in Wayne in 1997. Master Sergeant Dorsey spent a year in Iraq in 2005 to 2006 with the 189th Transportation Company. He is currently a social studies teacher at Wayne High School since 2000. He has one son, Keegan Dorsey, who is also a member of the Wayne 189th Transportation Company. I give you Master Sergeant Brendan Dorsey.
Thank you, Commander. Welcome, everyone, to the Memorial Day service. Welcome, Mr. Whelan, the Wayne High School Band, special guests, and a very special welcome to all the veterans, and thank you for your service. I'm sure many of you have not been thanked enough. I'm honored to be able to say a few words here today. Because I'm a history teacher, I thought I would start with a short history of Memorial Day. Memorial Day started after the Civil War, when people would go and decorate the graves of fallen soldiers from the Civil War. People of both the North and the South honored the graves of their fallen soldiers. It was originally known as Decoration Day. Those of us that are old enough can still remember when it was called Decoration Day as well as Memorial Day. Its name was officially changed to Memorial Day in 1967. Memorial Day is meant to honor those who have been killed in our nation's wars, while Veterans Day in November is to honor all who have served. Why is it important that we remember those that have given their lives for our country? This seems like a question with an obvious answer. And yes, the answer is clear. We honor them because they sacrificed their lives for their country. What does that mean? It means that, first of all, they were willing to answer the call when their country needed it. I don't believe anybody goes serving wanting to die for their country, but they do go, fully aware that sacrificing their lives is a possibility. In his inaugural address, John F. Kennedy said, "Let every nation know, whether it wishes us will or ill, that we shall pay any price, bear any burden, meet any hardship, support any friend, oppose any foe, to assure the survival and success of liberty." Our country is stronger and more secure because these people have been willing to pay the price and bear the burdens, and have been willing to lay down their lives to protect this country and the ideals put forth by the Constitution. If no one was willing to step forward and defend those beliefs, we would have long ago ceased to be a democratic and free country. In our history, we have fought wars that have been popular and have had a strong moral purpose. We have also fought wars where the cause and the purpose may have been less clear, the wars less popular. Regardless of how the wars were perceived, the men and women who have gone and sacrificed deserve our gratitude. The willingness of Americans to answer the call of their country sent a strong message to the world that Americans are ready to defend and support their country. Politics aside, those who have fallen in the service of their country deserve to be honored and remembered. In the Gettysburg Address, Lincoln noted that it was fitting and proper to honor those soldiers who gave their lives. But he also stated that we, the living, could not, by our speeches, add or detract from what they did. Lincoln said, "Instead, it is for us, the living, to finish the work that those who have died have started. That government of the people, by the people, and for the people shall not perish from the earth." So for us here today, not only do we honor those who have died, we take increased devotion to ensure the ideas of democracy. Besides honoring those who have fallen in the service of the country, I would also like to remember those who have served and are no longer with us. In a few minutes, the roll call of those who have served and passed away will be read. As I get older, I have started to recognize more and more of the names from the roll call. As I think about the people whose names I know, it occurs to me that I didn't know these people as soldiers, sailors, or Marines. I knew them rather as friends of my parents, guys my dad had coffee with, members of my church, parents of my friends. I knew them as everyday, ordinary people. They were everyday people, but with one difference. They answered the call when their country needed them. They went and did what was asked of them and then came back and led ordinary lives. They never really mentioned their service or asked for recognition. People like this are the ones who have made America strong and kept us safe, never looking for attention, just doing what had to be done and moving on. They are truly deserving of our respect and honor. So on this sacred day, let us pause and reflect on what has been given and sacrificed. Let us not forget, but let us also remember what has resulted from these sacrifices. Thank you. Enjoy the rest of your Memorial Day.
Thank you, Brendan. Representing the Sons of American Legion and disabled veterans are wreaths placed to honor our dead. These flowers may wither and wilt, but the spirit of which they symbolize will endure the end of time. We will now have the reading of the Roll of Honor by Legionnaire Galen Weiser.
Roll of Honor, War of 1812, Nathaniel Allen. Mexican Border War, Roy N. Meyer, Lloyd W. Powers. Spanish-American War, William Eisenhower, M. D. Coleman, Albert Gildersleeve, Abraham Gildersleeve, Charles R. Glenn, John P. Hyatt, Leroy Ireland, Guy A. Lush, J. W. McIntosh, Roy A. Tharp. Civil War, Joseph W. Egler, James F. Alexander, Albert Anson, Charles A. Baggert, Chris Berlemeyer, DeGrasse W. Britton, Jacob W. Brown, Oliver Burson, Albert H. Carter, Arthur T. Chapin, Arthur P. Childs, Peter Coyle, George W. Culler, Burlington Cunningham, David Cunningham, Edward H. Dorsett, David Elson, Thomas H. Farron, Andrew J. Ferguson, Sumners Fox, William O. Gamble, T. S. Goss, Louis Grassett, John J. Grimsley, James Harmon, Mortimer Harmon, Isaac D. Henderson, Henry Hodson, I. W. Hungerford, A. J. Hyatt, Archie Lindsay, Samuel T. McMakin, Daniel McManigal, William Meller, John T. Metlin, Thomas J. Merle, Edwin J. Nangle, John W. Ott, Robert Perrin, James Phelan, Edward Reynolds, Richard J. Roush, Edward Sala, L.R. Sharp, Wayman Skaden, Robert H. Skiles, Robert Sneath, John B. Stallsmith, Mark Stringer, G. A. Swanson, Sylvanus Taylor, R. P. Williams, Amos Wright, William M. Wright. World War I, John Ahern, August Alleman, Enfred Alvine, Maxwell L. Ash, A.J. Pat Atkins, Hobart M. Ocker, Adolph A. Beyer, John Clark Bannister, Carl Luther Bard, Anton C. Bastian, Fred L. Beckman, Roy E. Beeks, John Benjamin, Clifford Benshoff, Herbert W. Burke, John T. Bressler Jr., John Brisbane, Fred W. Bruns, Charles A. Bull, John Bush, Ralph M. Carhart, Charles R. Chin, William F. Collins, Floyd L. Conger, Mike Conley, Tom Coyle, Henry Crandall, William A. Crossland, Arthur Cunningham, Harry P. Dom, Fred G. Dale, Maurice Dalton Jr., Herman Dammy, Dr. John C. Devine, John N. Eining, Arthur Ray Ellis, Leslie W. Ellis, Frank Elming, Ray Farney, Clifford Finn, William P. Finn, Lloyd B. Fitch, Fred W. Franzen, Glenn Gildersleeve, Harold R. Gildersleeve, Harry D. Gildersleeve, Edwin H. Glassmeyer, Dr. Robert E. Gormley, Frank J. Griffith Jr., John W. Grosskirk, Harvey Hass, Wilbur D. Hall, William H. Hall, James Hanson, Paul L. Harrington, William Hawkins, Frank Heine, Raleigh Hinkle, Arthur Henricks, George F. Pat Hofeld, William Frank Horrell, Harvey J. Hostetter, William Hunter, Anton T. Jacobson, Julius R. Jensen, Otto Jensen, Edwin A. Johnson, Gus M. Johnson, Henry R. Johnson, Bert L. Jones, Jens C. Jorgensen, Fred G. Jotsky, William B. Kelleher, Elza Kelly, William Julius Keeper, Leo J. Killian, Carl Herman Kling, Ernest Krieger, Henry W. Kugler, Alfred Kurlemeyer, Leo C. Lamberson, Arthur C. Lamp, Russell L. Larson, Bernie W. Larson, Walter H. Lerner, Earl Lewis, Gib Lynn, Tony Lentz, William Loberg, E. R. Love, Herman P. Lutt, Clark A. W. Madsen, Hayes M. Main, Fred Marple, Daniel B. Martin, Ora R. Martin, Albert Mao, C. D. McCullough, Smith McManigal, Lloyd W. McNatt, Forrest E. McNutt, Otto Meyer, Joseph Meister, Julius C. Menke, Bernard A. Meyer, Otto B. Miller, James O. Milliken, Paul R. Mines, Edward F. Moeller, James Morrison, H.E. Nangle, John Nelson, Edward W. Neiman, Arthur Obst, Arthur Odegaard, Carol Orr, George H. Oddie, Kenneth N. Park, James Andrew Parker, C.J. Red Perrin, Herbert A.E. Peters, Leslie S. Phillips, James Pyle, Clarence C. Powers, Frank E. Powers, Russell R. Preston, Walter Randall, Ward M. Randall, George Rybold, Harry Ringer, John G. Rockwell, Stephen Rockwell, Frank L. Rowe, George Rower, Leroy Rubeck, Leslie R. Rubeck, Erwin L. Sears, Frank E. Cedarstrom, William H. Scherer, Warren C. Schulteis, J. Shumway, Charles A. Siekman, George Smith, Harris S. Sorensen, Mather B. Stanton, James J. Steele, James M. Strawn, Guy R. Strickland, Roy H. Serber, Axel L. Swan, Harry U. Jack Sweeney, Alfred G. Cito, John Test, Frank H. Thielman, William J. Thielman, John Ulrich, Ernest C. Vogt, J. Warner, Herbert A. Welch, George W. Wiedenfeld, Rudolph L. Tuffy Will, Howard Williams, Clark W. Wilson, Floyd C. Wilson, Jesse Witt, August H. Whitler, Leo D. Woodruff, Henry H. Werdeman. World War II. Huber D. Addison, Alan H. Allman, Leroy R. Albertson, Delbert Alderson, Randy Allen, Robert C. Allen, Francis O. Amick, Theodore L. Armbruster, Henry A. Arp, Warren H. Austin, Millard Leroy Baugh, Richard A. Beyer, Walter E. Beyer, Russell D. Baird, Clifford W. Baker, Clyde E. Baker, William M. Barlman, Christian E. Bartholz, Harry E. Bartholz, Milo E. Gene Barker, Marvin Frederick Barner, John F. Barr, Alan E. Beebe, Gerald W. Wiz Beckner, Dr. Robert Benthak, Charles Berry, Dolores McNatt Bosworth, Donald J. Boyce, Lloyd Bradford, John T. Bressler, Dale M. Brockman, Vernie R. Brockman, Eldon C. Bull, Aaron C. Butler Jr., Walfred E. Carlson Jr., Richard L. Carman, Edward W. Carroll, William H. Kavner, Roy D. Christensen, Lloyd W. Clark, George E. Claycomb, Timothy L. Collins, Calvin W. Comstock, Roy E. Coriel, Elwood P. Kraft, Dwayne C. Kramer, Lemoyne R. Cunningham, Benjamin I. Davis, Donald E. Denbeck, Charles W. Denisha, Norbert J. Dickus, Ivan P. Diedrichsen, Joseph M. Dorsey, Irvin L. Doring, Marvin D. Dragu, Alden J. Dunklau, Edward H. Dunklau, Donald H. Echtenkamp, Leroy W.J. Echtenkamp, Alvin H. Ehlers, Raymond Ehlers, Raymond B. Eltz, John F. Eining, Harold L. Eckberg, Carl R. Ellermeyer, Merton D. Ellis, Fred L. Ellis, Ewell E. Engel, Harold Erdman, Edna Erickson, Gerald K. Eulberg, William H. Mike Enan, Walden T. Felber, David C. Ferrier, Frank J. Fink, Warren B. Finn, Raymond D. Fauner, Harold L. Frederickson, Ivan B. Fries, Carlisle T. Garvin, Glenn A. Gatchie, John H. Gatchie, William H. Gaunt, Arnold M. L. Gurleman, Arthur Geese, Wilbur E. Geese, Fred W. Gildersleeve, Dr. George H. Goblerich, Anton Granquist, Elmer W. Granquist, Glenn A. Granquist, Edward H. Grasshorn, Weldon Greenwald, Arthur M. Groney, Edward H. Groney, Ronald Grunke, Saul Marvin Grunke, Ralph H. Hackmeyer, Arvid E. Hamer, John Hanson, Lawrence J. Hanson, Darrell W. Harrison, Arthur A. Headley, Edmund H. Highhold, Aaron Helgren Jr., Lloyd Heideloff, Merton E. Hilton, Harry F. Henricks, Charles Armand Hiscox, John J. Hochstein Jr., George Hoffman Jr., Donald E. Hogan, Elmer C. H. Holst, Warner Hughes, Eugene J. Huntemer, Leon C. Hupp, Charles G. Ingham, Dr. Walter A. Ingram, Walter H. Jager, Byron P. James, Roscoe P. James, Delbert D. Jensen, Ivan O. Jensen, Irvin German, Clemeth L. Johnson, Melvin A. Johnson, Stanley V. Johnson, Donald Jugel, Marvin Mike Carroll, Willie C. Kay, Albert M. Killian, Raymond E. Kling, Vernon Knutson, William A. Kober, Alex P. Cohn, Arnold C. Court, Melvin A. Korn, Wendell R. Court, Robert H. Lamb, Earl A. Larson, Lawrence P. Lass, Eugene E. Leonard, Merlin M. Lessman, Willis G. Lessman, Warren F. Leakin, David E. Liljadal, Donald Dwayne Lindsay, Frank R. Lip, Alvin D. Long, August E. Lorenzen, Rodney R. Love, Lester O. Les Luck, Elwood A. Lyman, John B. Lynch, Harold E. Majeski, Lloyd E. Chalk Mansky, Alvin K. Marsh, Francis Maston, Dr. Roy M. Matson, Arnold C. Slim Mao, Henry C. Mao, Calvin McAllister, Charles E. McDermott, Bernard McGuigan, Harry J. McIntosh, Robert A. McLean, Wayne McMaster, Lloyd W.R. Buddy McNabb, Walter H. Meyer, Dean F. Menke, Robert A. Merchant, Donald G. Merriman, Alvin D. Meyer, Dale F. Meyer, Donald V. Meyer, Milo W. Meyer, Willis F. Meyer, Walter F. Meyer Jr., Donald U. Miller, Ralph E. Miller, Margaret Mines, Walter L. Moeller, Robert Moore, Mern M. Mordhorst, Victor C. Mordhorst, Lawrence Munson, Raymond E. Murray, Ivel E. Nelson, Lyle C. Nelson, Raymond M. Nelson, Willis E. Nelson, Anton J. Nathurda, Charles B. Nichols, Marion E. Nichols, Robert E. Nichols, Frederick D. Neiman, Wilbur G. Nolte, Malvin T. Nydal, Theodore F. O'Connell, Kenneth M. Oles, Horace Oliver, Glenn A. Olson, Harold J. Tony Olson, Laverne Ostendorf, Merlin Paddock, Robert M. Tanter, Merlin L. Hart, Marvin D. Paulson, Donald H. Peterson, Alan J. Perdue, Walter J. Peterson, Wesley C. Pfluger, Dale D. Pullman, Arthur L. Pollard, John E. Post, Donald W. Powers, Frank P. Prather, Edward B. Prescott, Louis E. Prescott, Quentin F. Preston, Jason K. Preston, John Breen, William T. Ted Reed, Arnold D. Reed, Raymond J. Reed, Henry Retzlaff, William W. Richardson, Ellery Reinhardt, Ruth Ringland, John C. Ritzy, Leonard D. Roberts, Eldon B. Roberts, W. A. Robertson, Raymond A. Robbins, Alton F. Rockwell, Norman L. Rockwell, Arnold A. Raber, Preston C. Roggenbach, James R. Root, John L. Rundell, William J. Rundell, Selmer I. Sampson, Rulo Schmidt, Dean B. Schramm, Charles L. Schultz, Myron G. Mike Schultz, Lyle E. Seymour, Cletus J. Scherer, Floyd Shell, Donald G. Sherbon, Orville M. Sherry, Alan L. Schufelt, Dr. Gordon W. Shoup, Donald D. Siekman, Alfred J. Sievers, Bernie H. Sievers, Terrence D. Simmerman, Lawrence R. Smith, Darrell G. Soden, Roy H. Sommerfeld, Chris V. Saunderstrup, Albert E. Rusty Souls, Ernest H. Spar, David L. Spencer, Kenneth E. Stenwall, James M. Strawn, Leonard A. Strong, James H. Stern, Carl H. Sun, Herman R. Sun, Walter Sun, John L. Swanson, Warren S. Sweeney, Warner L. Cedo, Lloyd C. Texley, John F. Thiel, Marvin Thomas, Dale E. Thompson, Glenn H. Thompson, Harold E. Thompson, John Thompson, Leroy M. Thompson, Scotty C. Thompson, Ludwig A. Toon, Ralph D. Teagues Jr., Robert R. Teagues, Lee Teagan, Wayne Teagan, Clarence C. Tim, Jackson X. Trippy, Henry William Volkamp, Wallace C. Victor, Bennett B. Beacon, Leon G. von Segren, Alvin J. Voorhees, Elmer H. Herman W. Bud Wacker, Howard H. Wacker, Lester L. Dick Wacker, Ruth H. Wacker, Vincent G. Wearer, Archie Wirt, Llewellyn B. Whitmore, Quentin R. Whitmore, Kenneth E. Warlow, Francis Wiley, Alvin W. Willers, William H. Bill Winch, Howard W. H. Witt, Arthur C. Walters, Donald R. Wright, Leslie F. Youngmeyer, Arnold R. Zock, Korea, Mark C. Amon, Wallace A. Anderson, A. Wayne Armitage, Morris A. C. Backstrom, Eddie G. Beyer, Warren B. Baird, Roger H. Bannister, Arthur F. Barker, Kenneth A. Berglund, Patricia C. Berry, George W. Bierman, Frederick S. Brink, Donald M. Brudigan, Waldron K. Bull, John David Carhart, Charles V. Carhart, Jimmy Carter, Ronald Day, Gene C. DeTurk, Dick Dion, Leo D. Dowling, Marvin A. Dranselka, Earl E. Echtenkamp, Lauren G. Butch Ellis, Arnold D. Emery, Gene E. Fletcher, Robert H. Foote, Theodore R. Foose, Harold E. Gatchie, Clifton L. Ginn, Lowell Glassmeyer, Kenneth L. Gramberg, Kenneth D. Hamer, Leroy Hammer, Herbert H. Hansen, Lester Hansen, Jimmy D. Hummel, Robert W. Johnson, Merton Jones, John E. Kay, James J. Keating, Val Keenest, George R. Kinney, Donald H. Call, Charles J. Kudrina, Ronald P. Loggy, Robert P. Lurch, Russell L. Lindsay, Glenn Loberg, Bernard J. Mackey, Marshall D. Marple, Thomas C. McLean, Marvin H. Meyer, Wayne Milligan, Cecil K. Moon, Robert W. Morris, Gordon R. Nelson, Wayne M. Nissen, Edwin A. O'Donnell, Kurt H. Oddie, Edward Perry, Reno W. File, Clifford B. Pinkelman, Frederick Jim Poquette, Gerald J. Pospashil, Richard K. Powers, Melvin L. Reig, Lowell D. Rethwish, Kenneth B. Rowland, Thomas W. Rose, Lloyd R. Russell, Cornelius W. Sandall, Melvin J. Schroeder, Leroy E. Schultz, Robert W. Schulteis, James L. Spar, Kenneth J. Splitgerber, Roy H. Straight, John E. Suber, Billy Sewell Jr., Robert N. Tanderup, Jimmy L. Thomas, Mark E. Teetsort, Arlen H. Teets, Robert D. Twite, Charles H. Wagaman, Frederick A. Weber, Norman L. Willers. Vietnam. Randy R. Byer, William E. Byer, Michael L. Carlson, Ronald E. Carlson, Glenn A. Karstens, Douglas R. Cole, Kenneth L. Dahl, Robert L. Dangberg, Donald A. Franzen, Larry E. Foose, Larry G. Gamble, Gerald Gaynor, John E. Grasshorn, Mark L. Griesch, Ronald J. Hammer, Robert D. Jordan, Mark N. Lycan, Bryce F. Lindsay, Gary L. Long, Terry J. March, Laverl Curley McDonald, John F. Molina, Stanley E. Nelson, Dean N. Newton, Robert W. Flans, Rodney Red Reed, Philip Reese, Edward Reese, Lyle E. Samuelson, David Stye, Harold E. Serber, Charles B. Thompson, Glenn L. Thompson, Lynn E. Upton, Ronald L. Von Segrin. Lebanon, Grenada, Clint G. Nelson. Persian Gulf War, Kent W. Byer, Matthew J. Meyer, Daniel V. Nelson. Peacetime veterans, Jerry W. Alvine, Darrell L. Barner, Thomas I. Beeks, Edwin E. Bennett, Irvin C. Brandt, James J. Corbett, William C. Corbett, Howard E. Flair, Darrell D. Franzen, Kenneth C. Freevert, Samuel H. Foose, Donovan G. Gaden, Vern L. Grimm, Gerald G. Groney, Vernil I. Hallstrom, Richard A. Hammer, Lyle R. Hammer, Harlan D. Hansen, Delray G. Hauser, Gerald D. Kanishi, Raymond F. Loberg, Gary L. Lowe, Arthur C. Mann, James W. Marsh, Darrell D. Metzler, Frank E. Mersney, Jerry V. Noonan, Joe W. Nuss, Kenneth G. Ostrander, George D. Oddie, Clifford H. Peters, Alvin B. Peterson Jr., Robert Pyle, Howard L. Smith, Richard L. Sorensen, Larry D. Test, Victor Varner, George H. Boyles, Ronald L. Wirt, Richard L. Werdinger. Buried at LaPorte, Nathaniel Allen, Enoch Hunter, William Hunter. Buried at Altona, August Bierman, Clayton Blesch, Robert R. Greenwald, Merlin C. Reinhardt, Edward J. Roggenbach, Earl F. Romberg, Alan C. L. Splitgerber, Gustav Splitgerber, Wilbert I. Stuffman, Les Youngmeyer.
Thank you, Galen. We will now have a musical number by the Wayne High School Band. Thank you, Mr. Whalen and the Wayne High School Band. Commander, prepare to salute our fallen comrades. I wish to invite you to the Wayne Veterans Club after the conclusion of this ceremony for a Memorial Day luncheon. Hours of serving are from 11:30 a.m. to 1 p.m. Suggested donation of $9 per plate. We will now have Chaplain Bill Kober give the benediction.
As we remember today our military brothers and sisters who have given their lives in service to our country, let us stand in honor of them, walk in the path of duty, remember the cost, and hold in our hearts the cause of freedom. And may the peace of God that passes all understanding abide with us to bless us this day and forevermore. We pray in the name of the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. Amen.
This concludes our ceremony for this Memorial Day 2017. We hope for everlasting peace for the next century and beyond. We wish to thank each and every one present who came to honor our departed comrades. And a very special thanks to our guest speaker, Master Sergeant Brendan Dorsey, Mr. Alex Whalen and the Wayne High School Band, Llewellyn B. Whitmore, Veterans of Foreign Wars, Post 5291, Irvin L. Sears, American Legion, Post number 43, DAV, Post number 28, AMVETS, Post number 23, and supporting auxiliaries, Sons of American Legion, Squad 43 and 16. May God bless each and every one of you. Thank you. Commander, retire the colors.